So you're thinking about taking a road trip. Not just a road trip, but a solo road trip. Okay, yay you. That's super exciting and very impressive. But now you're thinking about navigating all of it and it's starting to scare you. Kind of scare you as bad as the monkeys in the Wizard of Oz when you were a kid. If you're of a certain age, that totally resonates with you, and you will probably have nightmares tonight, and I'm sorry. I mean, you love the idea of wandering with purpose, but then you're afraid of stumbling aimlessly, and you're just not sure you can do this by yourself after all. Okay, hold up, because there's something deep within you that is still pulling you towards hitting the road and seeking wonder and freedom. If this is you, I see you and you can do it. And while I'm pretty sure I could create an entire YouTube channel just to help people with road trip navigation, today I'm going to boil it down to 5 super practical bits of advice about navigating while you're on the road. So no matter how much advanced planning you do, these 5 tips are going to ensure that your road trip goes more smoothly. Hi, I'm Bing from WonderBing Travel, and I have been where you might be. A new stage of life, not sure where I'm going or what comes next. I was in a spot where I needed navigation help in every phase of my life. For reasons still unknown to me, I took a solo road trip to try to sort it all out, and it changed my life. I was in a very stuck place where I had a life that I was very familiar and comfortable for me, and I knew what was expected of me, and I understood my identity, and then I didn't, because things changed drastically. And I think that happens to many women in the middle of their life, and we're just not quite sure what to do next. So I found that a road trip, taking one by myself, gave me time and space to breathe and think and look out instead of in, and I came home feeling more confident and ready to take the next step in whatever my journey might be. I am here to help you do that very thing and equip you and inspire you to do that thing. I ended up writing a book about this very topic. It's called There's Wonder Around the Bend. It is an inspiring guide for solo road tripping. It's really designed for women to help them seek joy and freedom and confidence as they move out and try something new at this stage of their lives. Right now, you can get the Kindle version of There's Wonder Around the Bend for just 99 cents on Amazon. It's also in paperback, and to be honest, if you like to take notes or annotate, get the paperback. There are plenty of journal prompts and questions for you to consider and respond to as well, so I made sure there was room to write all that down. The Amazon link, it's down in the description below. The book walks you from those very first thoughts of why you would even consider taking a solo road trip, and then all the perks and considerations of taking the trip by yourself, right through to the planning and excitement as you prepare for your big adventure. If you purchase the book, you also get access to a ton of additional resources from all the practical chapters: budgeting, lodging, navigation, safety, even traveling with your dog. And you get all the Bing's things, which are links to all my favorite road tripping related products. So grab your book, but also please subscribe to our channel. Lexi the Golden, my sidekick golden retriever, she and I want to share all our tips, guides, and stories from the road with you. So punching that subscribe button will ensure you don't miss a thing. So navigation is actually the 4th pillar in this series of the pillars of planning. Solo female road trippers especially need to have a pretty firm grip on before they head out on their own, so that they are confident and so that you feel safe. So check out the playlist to learn about all those other essential pillars. I will say that navigation is the one that connects to seeking wonder more than anything else, because it's the deciding where you go that leads to all that like oohing and ahhing and the peace that you're looking for. Today we're focusing on 5 navigational tips for those days when you're on the road. So paying attention to each of these, it's going to help you start and stay on track when you want to be on track. Sometimes we don't want to be on track. But these are the 5 navigational tips. Let's dive in. So the first one, being able to reach the important stuff. Okay, without an actual co-pilot, it's vital to keep necessities within reach. And While snacks make this list as well, I'm just talking about nav items right now. So the first thing is making sure you have access to GPS. I realize at this day and age, most of us are using the nav on our phone, which may very well just be projecting on our screen, but make sure that that's ready to go before you leave every day. So your GPS, and then of course your phone would be the second one. Any map that you could conceivably need, and there will be times where you do need a map, okay? We'll talk about that more at another juncture, but yes, maps. And then the last thing that I keep with me to make sure that I have it within easy grabbing distance is just an old school folder where I've printed out information about every leg of my trip. So if I lose internet access and I can't check in at some place because I've lost my phone or whatever, I just have everything I need directionally. I have the addresses of every place I know I need to go, and I keep those in a folder next to me. So let me just say for now that having a real hold it in your hand map is a crucial part of a road trip. Your GPS is going to fail you at some point, whether you're off the grid or you lose your charger or you lose your phone or the roads are just lying to you. You need to know the big and the small picture, and your GPS, it just can't do all that effectively. Okay, number 2, think a day ahead. What I mean by that is devote a little time each evening or early morning before you set out on the road to sketch out the day in front of you. And I realize that you probably did this long before you left home, what you would kind of do every day, but things change and the lay of the land may not be what you thought it was going to be, whatever. You just need to think that day through when you get much closer to it. So the night before or that early morning. Plus, a poor night of sleep or bad weather, it could impact that original plan. And maybe it's that the reality of the time and the distance is different than expected. And you just may need to be open to a change, and that's okay. There are innumerable reasons for making adjustments. And ultimately, you will find that it really takes being in the middle of your trip to understand how each day flows. So look at the map to see what's between you and your next night of sleep. So usually you probably know about where you want to end up, or very specifically where you want to end up that night. And then just invest a little time researching to see what interests you. If you don't already have a specific plan for the day, look at it and figure it out the day before. It often takes me being en route to get the lay of the land, and then I start to feel more comfortable and I have a clearer picture of what fits into the day ahead. Number 3, pay attention to signs. I know your GPS is going to tell you what to do. Well, no. At least if you rely on that, you're going to miss so much. So when you're off the beaten path, you're going to encounter signs. And I'm not talking about like directional signs necessarily, but just things that will tell you about interesting landmarks, things that a GPS will never reveal. Sometimes they're just even handmade signs when you're going through some little town that say lemonade stand or whatever, or fresh blueberries for sale. So whatever it is, just pay attention. Maybe it's just pay attention, right? Look at what's around you. I've stumbled upon plenty of unexpected wonder by simply reading what's in front of me and then turning on a whim. So you will too. Okay, the next one is to take brain and body breaks. So even with the best of intentions, I get unexpectedly tired and overwhelmed, especially if I'm taking a very long trip that may be like 3 or 4 weeks long. And I've spent a lot of time in advance planning it all out, but then I get to a point where I'm done. I just need a break. Having some strategies to deal with that really makes all the difference. And I've learned this the hard way too. If I can find a park where I can take a walk or rest for a bit, or maybe for you, it might be a coffee shop to refuel, or on a longer trip, you might need to just say, you know what, I'm going to spend an extra night here and catch up on sleep and truly relax. Or you really love someplace you are and you want to spend more time there. Whatever it is, just stay in tune with your body and your mind and take breaks when you need them, even if that wasn't in your plan for the day. And I think when we feel that need to like rush on to the next thing, we're defeating the whole purpose of what we're doing. This is not that kind of trip, right? You're supposed to be relaxing and taking your time and opening your eyes and your mind to the wonder around you, not speeding by it. So don't get caught up in trying to keep to your schedule. It's going to wear you out, right? Freedom and wonder are the ultimate goals. And if you're being a slave to your schedule, it it's just totally counterproductive to that. Last one. Don't trade in your brain for a GPS. All right, don't get me wrong, I could not do what I do without a GPS system. I don't know, if I go back 30 years and try to do everything that I'm doing, I could still take a long road trip by myself, but there would be so much that would be missing out of it because of not having a GPS. So yay GPS. It provides so much peace of mind, quick answers, easy guidance, all that stuff, right? But a GPS is not my brain. It's also not my heart. If I let my GPS run the show, I'm missing out on a lot. So sometimes it's better to just meander down that road until I don't want to anymore. Not to mention, you kind of have to work hard to actually convince your GPS to take the most wonderful routes. You have to trick it a lot of times. And that's not the point. And I don't want to listen to, in 1.2 miles, take a right turn onto, that is not a road trip. That is getting from A to B in a direct way. And that's just not what it's all about. Okay, I have to show you my sweatshirt too. I don't normally wear things with labels on them for videos, but this is one of my favorite sweatshirts, partly because it has part of the name of my book in it, Bend, Wonder Around the Bend. But I bought this long before I named the book. I was in Bend, Oregon. Bend, Oregon is a fantastic place for outdoorsy people. This was part of a very long road trip that I took for a month and ended up in Bend, Oregon for a couple days. And it was one of those places I'd never even heard of it before I took this trip. And I did not learn about it until I was about 2 weeks in. So this was an off the beaten path kind of choice, and one that I'm really glad that I did. And I navigated my way to Bend, and I ended up spending an extra day there because I needed rest. Here are some great videos that do a deep dive into each of the pillars of planning, so check out this playlist to watch them and use the link below to grab your copy of There's Wonder Around the Bend, an inspiring guide to solo road tripping. And for heaven's sakes, subscribe so Lexi and I can teach you more about wonder on the road. Feel let WonderBing Travel be your guide for freedom and wonder on the road, and let me help you find joy in your journey.